All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Karen Orlowski. I live in Cumming, Georgia, and we are excited for you to learn more about health and how lifestyle can affect heart health. I will tell you that this community, the Juice Plus community, has really just it's given me the accountability to eat better, for my health, the motivation to eat better, and also the education. My first little bit of information, I think, with kind of a heart health scare, was with my mom. And she ended up passing away from cancer. Unfortunately, it was probably, let me think about this. It'll be 15 years this year. But a few years before she got cancer, I remember I was sitting at the house and she and my dad were trying to hide it from me. I wasn't, you're in your 40s, you're always a child. And it turns out I ended up finding out that she had a blocked carotid artery. She ended up going to a health fair, those ones where they do screenings, and she paid like the $50 and they did the little ultrasound and saw that she had blocked carotid artery. So she went to the cardiologist, and I was so happy to hear, not that she had that, but her cardiologist was so educated about lifestyle and that heart disease, one of the statistics that still blows my mind, is that heart disease is 100% preventable. Anyway, one of the things that he told her is he said, you know what? He said, you have a blocked carotid artery. He said, it's not bad enough that we have to do surgery right now. I want to see if you can reverse it. Well, my mom was a nurse, okay? She had been a nurse for years and years and years, and she had never been taught that. Never been taught that heart disease was preventable and reversible. It's always been about treatment. You have surgery, you go on to medication. And so the doctor that he recommended she read a book by was Dr. Dean Ornish. And so this is a great book. I know Doug, I'm going to have him talk at the end. He actually has gone through the program. It's not a spoiler alert, but it's fantastic. So he recommended this, and I didn't know that. I went on to Amazon and purchased a few books for her, which was the Dr. Dean Ornish. I purchased Caldwell Estelson, Reverse and Prevent Heart Disease. Okay, same thing. And then the China study talks about the same thing. So it's not just one book. There's other books out there where you can learn all about heart disease, preventing heart disease. And guess what? If you go and you work on preventing heart disease, you are preventing cancer. You're preventing so many other diseases as well. So I just, they have whole centers, um, Ornish centers aligned with hospitals now where you can learn. There's so much more information. 15 years ago, I feel like this was kind of really new for a lot of people. So, and especially with being a nurse, if you are in the medical field or you know somebody in the medical field, they're not taught prevention, they're taught treatment. So that's one of the things that I love is hopping on here and helping people, you know, to know that you do have some control. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the presentation. So thanks everybody for joining us. The one thing I learned in May, it is going to be 22 years that I learned this one simple change. And I am forever grateful because while I have not had heart issues, I grew up with allergies, asthma, a lot of different things. And I already kind of talked about, my mom being a nurse. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. 1 in 4 is going to die of heart attack. 1 in 3 from cancer. 1 in 3 from diabetes. 1 in 5 children is obese. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Ozempic and some of the other, weight loss shots and pills and different things that they're doing now, pharmaceutical companies are trying to get those approved for kids ages 6 and up. And it really is a shame because we do not, kids are more obese than they ever have been, but it's the food. They're not out, right? They're on their devices. They're not outside running around like, I was when I was a kid. So it's really just a shame to hear that. Okay, next one. There we go. Why are we so unhealthy? There's a lot of reasons. Okay, but lifestyle habits, food quality is decreasing. 70% of what we eat is processed foods. 20 to 30% is animal protein, and only about 10% is the nutrition that we're supposed to be getting every day from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, things like that. And our produce has so much less nutrition in it. When you go to the grocery store, take a look at where is your produce coming from. If it's coming from Mexico and I live in Georgia, they had to pick that a long time ago to be able to put it, either onto a ship or, however it got here. Because if they picked it when it was vine ripened, it's going to be rotten by the time I've gotten it. Okay, next. Okay, what can we do to be healthier? There's a lot of different things. I tell people this is kind of like a pie chart. Exercise, the eating right is a big part of it, and we have control over that. And do kind of the 80-20 rule. You don't want to have to eat perfect all the time. I kind of joke around that, I don't want to, I don't want to ever go, oh gosh, I wish I could have that brownie. Eat the brownie, but just don't eat it every single day and, with every single meal. But exercise, do whatever exercise you are going to do. I can't tell you to get out there and run or to join, burn boot camp where I work out. But if you're going to play pickleball, if you're going to walk your dog, if you're going to play tennis, if you're going to do yoga, get out and do whatever exercise gets you moving. Sleeping 7 to 8 hours, managing stress, drinking enough water, half of your body weight in ounces every single day. So not so much the 8 glasses of, 8 ounces every single day, but drinking half of your body weight every day and more if it's hot outside. And then eating real food. What is real food and why do we want to eat it? Dr. William Sears says 75% of chronic disease is preventable through good nutrition. What if you knew you had that kind of control with what you eat to help, heal and prevent? Okay, so how do fruits and vegetables protect us? So I can tell you that years ago, I had heard the word antioxidant, but if you had asked me what it meant, I had no idea what that really meant. So if you slice open an apple, I'm pretty sure we've all sliced open an apple or a banana or an avocado, and it sits there and it starts to turn brown. Well, that's oxidation. It's starting to go bad. The air has gotten to it and it's aging. It's kind of like us with disease, okay? Just sitting here watching this, we have oxidative stress. And so we have that causes free radicals and they damage your cells every single day. And so oxidative stress, the only way to combat that and to protect our cells against that is with antioxidants. And antioxidants are in fruits and vegetables, and that's how they protect us. So the left side of that apple is brown. That's the oxidation. The right side has been like you can drizzle. You can experiment with this at home. It's kind of fun. Drizzle or, squirt on there some lemon juice and the antioxidants protect it from going bad faster. So it's going to slow that down. It's not going to protect it, forever, but it's going to slow it down. So eating 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. Kids are supposed to eat seven, 9 for women and 13 for men. I always joke around that, you guys have to quit your jobs and be a stay-at-home vegetarian because it's not easy. It's not easy to get in all those fruits and vegetables every single day and a wide variety. Okay, we can't just eat 2 pounds of broccoli every single day. You need to eat the rainbow, the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, all the different colors. Because what's in an apple is different than what's in a banana and what's in a blueberry. And then our produce is picked before it's fully developed. We talked about that. The ground, okay, the soil that it's being grown in is not nearly as nutritious. They used to rotate crops. They don't do that anymore. And it's being transported thousands of miles. Okay, let's talk about fruits and vegetables and multivitamins. So multivitamins years ago were figured out or were created because of rickets and scurvy and different things like that. So I can't remember. I think it's been close to about 80 years since multivitamins came around. And I think people now just give too much, maybe hope or stock in vitamins because you see the ads, you have your doctor who says, oh gosh, you're not eating right. Go ahead and take a multivitamin. And it doesn't really work like that. Your body is looking from the nutrition from the fruits and the vegetables. Okay, it needs the vitamin C from the orange, not isolated synthetic vitamin C from a multivitamin. It just doesn't work the same way. Folic acid, okay, is usually in multivitamins. Guess what? Your body wants the folate from the green leafy vegetables. So your body needs it from the fruits and the vegetables. It also works like this synergy. So you have tens of thousands of phytonutrients in fruits and vegetables, and they work together. When you take them out, your body doesn't necessarily understand that the same way. Okay, so Juice Plus. When I learned about Juice Plus, it's coming up on 22 years, this May. I am embarrassed to say I didn't really understand the difference between eating fruits and vegetables and taking a multivitamin because my mom, again, was a nurse. You don't eat right, take a multivitamin, and that kind of bridges the gap. And we do know better now from that. When I was introduced to Juice Plus, I had suffered with severe allergies and asthma for years. I'm adopted. My birth mother had allergies and asthma. Later on in life, she had a lot of other health issues as well. That, some of it's genetic, some of it's not. Guys, you're not destined just because of your genes. Anyway, when I got pregnant, I had to get off of all the prescription allergy and asthma medications that I'd been doing. I had been getting asthma shots almost my whole life. And so I was a little nervous to get off of the medication. Fast forward, my best friend did introduce me to Juice Plus when I had to get off of all those during the pregnancy. And then by the end of the pregnancy, when somebody asked me how I was feeling, because they knew I wasn't on all the prescription medicines, you don't notice when start to feel better, right? People don't notice when they're starting to feel better. They notice when they don't feel good. And people also don't feel when they're getting heart disease. People don't feel when they're getting cancer. So anyway, I remember when somebody asked me that, I just paused and I went, oh my gosh, I haven't needed my allergy and my asthma medication. I'm feeling better. And so this May, it's 22 years since I've been on any of that medication. I haven't been on antibiotics. I used to be on antibiotics a few times a year for ear infections and different things. And it's not that I don't get sick, I'll get a cold, but I get better so much faster than but than before. I used to be sick for a week, sometimes as a kid, 2 weeks. Now I'm sick for a day or two and I bounce right back. So I'm forever grateful with that. And this gives me, if you look at the picture, hopefully during my story you were looking at the picture. I like majority of these fruits and vegetables and I can eat them. But guess what? There's no way I'm going to be able to, number one, afford them every single day. I don't have the time to sit and eat them all every single day. So Juice Plus has made it simple by giving us a salad in a capsule. And I take this every single day as just like I pay for car insurance and we have life insurance. I take Juice Plus because I don't know what my day is going to look like. And some days I do great eating fruits and vegetables. The other days I don't. I'm going to go into, I believe there's a slide with just the omega because I love that omega as well. So how is Juice Plus made? We partner with family farmers so we have control over how the produce is raised. We pick it at the peak of ripeness, so we are able to say we want it to ripen. Okay, it's just like when you're pregnant, you want to be able to keep that baby inside until that baby is ready to come out. You don't want that baby to come out early. Same thing, you're missing a ton of nutrition if you pick that produce too early. They quick freeze it to prevent loss of valuable nutrients. They pulverize it. They dry it at a low temperature so it doesn't damage it. It keeps all the live enzymes and all the phytonutrients alive. And then they put the powders into the capsules or into a gummy. And now we actually have superfoods, which is a powder stick. It is not a multivitamin. Juice Plus is different. If you look at the back of a Juice Plus capsule, I mean the bottle, it says that it has a nutrition label, not a food label. Okay, it's NSF certified. That is huge. If the product that you are taking is not NSF certified, you want to go question that because they check um, products, they check what's in it, and if on the label matches what's actually in that. And 99% of products, guys, are using ingredients from China and they're not NSF certified. So you could be taking a product and whatever's on the label doesn't necessarily mean that's what's in there. And it is the most researched whole food nutritional product in the world. We have 48 clinical research studies published in medical journals. And it's,
Did I leave my hard drive here?
oh, if somebody can mute.
I'm a silly woman.
Anne, can you mute?
Thank you.
Anne Marie? Can you mute, please?
Let me get.
You could co-host me, Karen.
Hold on. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna go in and mute real quick. Did she? Okay. Let
Yeah,
me
she's
find.
good.
Okay. Let me find you, Doug. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. Make co-host. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Next slide. Superfood. This is, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I did not realize how much I needed the nutrition in a little powder stick that I could just dump into my water every day and drink. So this is superfood. This is nutrition from fruits, veggies, and the berries with Juice Plus. And you can see it's in the little stick. We add it to water and we drink. It has a fantastic fruit punch flavor. And you get to, when it's in a powder stick like this, mix it with a little bit more or a little bit less water to get the flavor that you want. So it has all of the nutrition, all of the research, and all of the benefits that the capsules and the gummies do. It's just easier. Okay, clinical research. I don't have time to go into all of the research. So whoever invited you to this, ask them. You can go onto the Juice Plus website and you can see all of the research. We have research showing that it helps to strengthen the immune system. We have 10 cardiovascular research studies. Thank you. We have research that it helps to improve the microbiome. We have clinical research showing the cognitive health. We have research with ovarian cancer survivors at MD Anderson Cancer Center. We have periodontal research. We have skin research. I mean, we just have it all. And the thing with fruits and vegetables, just like if you were to start eating that's, 9 to 13 every single day, it's going to take time. We kind of live in a fast, a society where we want results now, but you need to give it time. Okay, this is not a Z pack where it's going to work in 5 days. Okay, some of these results are found that they happen within 24 hours, a couple of hours. They happen within 2 weeks. They happen within 3 months. They happen in 4 months. So you got to give it time for the nutrition to heal your body, just like if you're going to eat all that food. Okay, Healthy Starts program. Oh my gosh, my kids have been on this, and this has been fantastic. The founder of the company, Jay Martin, years ago, did not want parents to make a decision between themselves getting healthier and the kids getting healthier, right? Because as a parent, I can tell you if I've only got so much money, I'm going to choose it for my child. And what he wants is we can't take care of our family if we're not healthy too. And he wanted us to be able to set the example for the kids because they will follow us. And so, if you look at the statistics on here, excuse me, ages 4 through 25 years old, okay, a kid can get Juice Plus for free, the capsules or the gummies. And look at the statistics, okay? They're consuming less fast food, drinking more water, they're getting sick less, they're on less medication, less doctor visits. So, we have 4 million kids and adults over, I don't even know how many years this has been. Does anybody know? I mean, I've been doing this 22 years, so it's got to be at least probably 25 years.
Yeah, I think it's 25 or 26.
Yeah.
It's in 1999. We wanted 50,000 kids on the product free. So it's before 1999.
Nice. Thank you, Randy. Yeah, I know. I'm always like, I gotta find out. So yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Okay, the Juice Plus shakes, actually the Perform we don't have anymore. I do miss that, but we don't have that anymore. But the Juice Plus Complete every single day. This is what I have with me. I go to the gym and I refuel with the Juice Plus Complete shake. If you guys are like me, years ago, when I had discretionable income, I had a personal trainer and he was always like, you need more protein, you need more protein. I know now we don't need as much protein as everybody says we do. That's a different Zoom. But what I do know is I do need to refuel my body with clean protein and clean ingredients. And when I drank the whey shakes years ago, I used to get bloated. I didn't feel good. And it's a cheap form of protein and it actually causes inflammation. I love the Juice Plus Complete Shakes because, again, if you look at the label, you're eating, oh my gosh, chickpea powder, alfalfa sprouts, broccoli. Majority of these ingredients you can go to the grocery store and purchase. And so, take a look at your shake if you're drinking shakes and look at the ingredients. Can you purchase those ingredients at the grocery store? Fiber, it is low glycemic, it is gluten-free, it is vegan, and they are delicious. Luminate, this is my go-to. So I drink the shake coming home from the drink. I drink Luminate going to the gym to help me survive the gym. And the great thing is it's got all those buzzwords that everybody loves. The ashwagandha, the lion's mane mushroom, the cordyceps mushroom, Alpinia galanga. So it is the cognitive health, the brain health, the focus. I call it my productivity drink because it does have some coffee berry in there. I don't drink coffee. I was a little nervous about this product in the beginning because I try to avoid caffeine, and it's not that caffeine is bad. Okay, it's too much. So if you drink coffee, here's a little tip for you. If you do drink coffee, 1 cup of black coffee, if you don't add anything to it, is actually fermented and it can be healthy for you. It's the people that are drinking, a dessert, right? They're adding a lot of, cream and sugar and caramel and all these different things to it. So anyway, coming back to the caffeine, I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to make me jittery? But because of the ashwagandha, it balances out. And the coffee berry is the whole berry, not a roasted coffee bean. So it's giving you all the fantastic phytochemical properties of the coffee berry for brain health, but without too much energy. So it's less than a cup of coffee and it doesn't make me jittery. It gives me just long sustained energy instead of spiking. So and it's got a delicious taste with like mango.
This would be a good time to share about Super Biome, and then we can go into some stories.
Oh, yes. So Super Biome. So Super Biome is the newest product. It came out in September and it is all about gut health because Juice Plus does have microbiome research, okay, that it helps to increase the fecal butyrate, which is a short chain fatty acid, helps with your immune system, but it does take a while. The research shows that it takes a little bit to get there. Knowing that so many people have gut issues, guys, and gut health, there's a gut connection with everything. Okay. If you have eczema and psoriasis, guess what? That's a gut issue it's like a gut skin axis. It's also related to heart health. I typed this out because I wanted to read it. I didn't want to forget something. So there's a gut heart connection. Inflammation, 70% of the body's inflammatory cells reside in the gut. So gut imbalance dysbiosis releases inflammatory chemicals into the bloodstream harming arteries. Okay, 80% of your immune system is in your gut as well. So if you're getting sick often and you have autoimmune, guess what? Related to the gut. Gut bacteria breaks down foods from different foods like meat and eggs and stuff, which is strongly linked to artery plaque and heart events. And then cardiovascular risk, a poor microbiome is linked to higher blood pressure, lower good HDL cholesterol, and an increased risk of heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure. So, you have got to get your gut healthy because this is where everything stems from. And so Super Biome is a 2-part process. It is the prebiotic, which helps to feed the probiotics, which make the postbiotics. Okay. And that's where all your butyrates come from. So we've got to get that, everybody has heard of probiotics, but what a lot of people are missing out on is the prebiotics. And they do come with the Juice Plus as well. But if you need faster or you just really want more help with your gut, Super Biome is fantastic.
All right. Would you like me to go now,
Yes.
Karen?
Yep.
Share my story? Okay. Well, tonight, guys, my name's Doug. And as Karen said in the beginning, I had a cardiac scare about 2022 or so. And I'm actually not going to tell you my whole story because, well, I'm a guy. And look, how many guys are on this Zoom right now? Just me. Okay. So let me just say, if you guys aren't so good at taking care of themselves about these things, okay? And it's not that heart disease doesn't affect women, but it does seem to affect men a little bit more. But these principles are all going to apply to you guys too. But what I want you to do is I want you to twist your guy's arm, sit him down, and make him watch this replay, okay? Because what I'm going to tell you right now is I'm going to refer to those books that Karen was holding up earlier from Dean Ornish, Dr. Esselstyn, and I'm also going to throw in some Dr. McDougall in there because I really like him too. And after I had my stents put in, I did go to a cardiac rehab clinic that was a Dean Ornish clinic. So I I know about what Ornish calls the reversal diet. Okay. So what I'm going to share with you right now are principles. If somebody wants to um, reverse certain parts of heart disease. Now, I'm not talking about like a damaged muscle or things like that. I'm talking about plaque in the arteries and blockage and what we typically see with heart disease, which lead to stroke and heart attacks and things like that. Some of you guys aren't going to like these principles. Okay. And some of you guys watching the replay, you're going to say, oh, I can't do that. Well, let me ask you this. If you're in a situation, the bottom line is this: if you're eating burgers, wings, and fried foods and all this kind of stuff, the odds are that you do have heart disease brewing in there somewhere. And if you've already had heart disease identified, if you don't do these things, you're going to live a shorter life. That's the bottom line. So think about your spouse, think about your kids, think about what you want, the quality of life you want. Think about if you know somebody that's had a stroke, do you want to be living like that for the rest of your life? Okay. So hopefully this is like a scared straight moment for you. But it was for me. So that's why I made changes. So one thing they recommend for reversal is a whole food plant-based diet. Okay. And now you're going to do what you can do. So everybody watching this, if you can do some of this, it's going to be better than doing not any of this. And you might think, well, what the heck did we have to wait 20 minutes to hear about real heart disease when we had to hear just about Juice Plus? Well, Juice Plus is fruits and vegetables. Okay. And a whole food plant-based diet reverses heart disease. Now I know my friend Satya is on here, and she kind of like gave me a heads up. It's like that's on the borderline of a compliance type of a statement, reversing heart disease. Hey, you can argue that with Dr. McDougall and all these guys because they've been doing this 40 years and 40 years. And they've been able to do that consistently. Okay. And I've seen the same kind of results in my life. So whole food plant-based. And for the highest level of reversal, we're talking about eliminating all animal products, including dairy, eggs. So we're talking vegan. Okay. What about oils? Okay. I know we're told oftentimes that olive oil is heart healthy. Well, it's heart healthier than like I don't know, coconut oil that you can see is like hard as a rock at room temperature. Okay, but olive oil is not a health food. Okay, it is a highly processed thing. If you want olives, eat some olives, but the oil is just processed. It's pure fat. That's all it is. And while we're talking about fat, another thing they want you to do is focus on a low fat diet. Only 10% of your calories coming from fat will help you reverse your heart disease. Another thing that we've often been told nowadays, it's very popular to have these low carb diets. Well, these doctors actually recommend carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is a good thing. And here's the funny thing. You can have all the carbs you want, not all the carbs you want, but a very high carb diet. As long as the fat is low, you're going to lose weight as well. Okay, but you can't do both. You can't have high fat and the starch solution. That's the book Karen's holding up right now. Yeah, that's a good one. Protecting the endothelium. Okay, and that's by eating this way, green leafy vegetables. And this, we have research from Juice Plus that shows that it improves the elasticity of the vessels. Minimizing refined foods and processed sugars, exercising with these 4 pillars that Karen talked about earlier, and then making sure that we target our root causes, not just the symptoms. The doctors are pretty good at like mopping up the floor by putting in stents and giving you a bypass and all that, but they don't always focus on like turning off the faucet that's making the mess on the floor. So these are all tips that can do that for you, and staying consistent with it is going to make a huge difference. And taking the Juice Plus is just another way to get more plants into your body, reduce your systemic inflammation, and it's going to help a lot. So I encourage you guys, if you saw this, hear my words, go get one of those books and get your Juice Plus, and I promise you, you're going to be doing a little bit better in your cardiac health. Karen?
Okay, thank you. I love that. And I always find it more impressive when a guy can go vegan and plant-based than a girl, right? Because I always joke around my husband's like Fred Flintstone. So I think it's just harder for them the way that they're raised, that they need to eat meat. And yeah, guys, all of these books. So I just had a guy yesterday. There isn't anybody I won't talk to. I taught a sourdough class yesterday at the rec center, and I was like, "Oh, who wants, the leftover sourdough?" And the guy was like, "Oh no, I'm cutting back on, you know, what did he say? He goes, bread and potatoes." And I was like, "No, you need potatoes." And he's like, "Oh, no." And I said, "It's not the potatoes." I said, "It's the company they keep. It's what you're putting on the potatoes." Okay, so we have a couple more stories to share. I'm going to go with Debbie and then Renee.
Hi, everyone. My name's Debbie, and I'm a registered nurse. I like to say that I went from providing sick care, working in the emergency department for years, to now having the joy of being able to promote well care and prevention. I've been affiliated with Juice Plus now for 10 years, both personally and professionally. And when we're talking about heart health, we had a very bad scare a few years back. When I first started on Juice Plus, I handed capsules to my husband and said, "Here, just take these." I didn't make him change any of his diet. I didn't make him do things he didn't want to because he was a total skeptic. But he trusted me enough to say, "Okay, they're not going to hurt me. I'll take them." Years later, and a lot of changes occurred, but the scare that we had was he went to get a stress test and they kept him and said, "You're having a triple bypass surgery on Monday." This was during COVID, which was not pleasant because being a nurse, I always said never send anybody to the hospital without a family member. And here I was not able to go with him to the hospital. He had his bypass surgery and everything was great. Everything was resolved. But what I can say is Juice Plus and his change in his diet and the things that he did as a result of the community that he's keeping, the doctors were astounded at how quickly he healed. He was driving our RV about a month after triple bypass surgery. The healing was phenomenal. I remember him calling me from the hospital saying, "I can't stand the hospital food. I'm going to die of starvation in here." So what I did was I made shakes for him from our Juice Plus Complete shakes, and I would deliver them to the hospital every day, and that's what he survived on. When the dietitian came to see him, she was going to give him his heart healthy diet, and he said, "Well, the food in here is horrible. I've been surviving on this." And he showed her the shakes, and she said, "Oh, that's really, really good stuff. Keep taking it." So that was a very, very positive thing. Um, Having been a big skeptic, he's here listening right now. It's amazing to see the difference in what he chooses to do now and the difference that he has seen. He's Italian. He's a big pasta, meat, cheese guy. He's lost weight on it. He no longer has to buy Pepto-Bismol. Every time we go somewhere, he'd drink it by the bottles before, and all that went away. It's just an amazing thing. One thing that I did want to share, and I know our time is limited, but I was thrilled last week, and I'm going to read this. I forwarded it to Karen. It says, "Sometimes the most powerful changes in healthcare come from education and awareness. By prioritizing nutrition in medical training, this initiative fosters a new generation of doctors who can approach patient care holistically, promoting prevention, vitality, and lifelong health." The Secretary of Health is now mandating that nutritional education is included in medical school training. So the doctors who haven't been learning about nutrition, they've been learning about treatment after you've already had the damage, are now going to start learning about nutrition and prevention earlier on. So that's positive for all of us who take heed with this. And what I will say from my experience as a nurse, it doesn't matter what you do or don't do, everything has a risk benefit. If you don't start being proactive and doing something to eliminate the disease that probably starts growing in your body, whether it's heart disease, cancer, or otherwise, years before you have any symptoms, you really, really need to start doing your screenings, whether or not you have symptoms. I have 3 boys, so Doug, I heed your how many guys are on the call thing. And 2 of my sons are now in their early 40s. So I've started getting on them about, have you been checking your blood pressure? Have you been to the doctor? Have you had lab work? Because these are how we find things early. And again, with the positive reinforcement of our community and the products that we offer to help us bridge that gap, we can have a lot better outcome.
I love that. Thank you, Debbie.
Sure.
Very well said. Okay, and Renee.
Hi, good evening. So heart health is the topic this evening, huh? What is your why? I know my why for heart health is pretty big. My family history, my father had congestive heart failure. I have a brother who passed away at 34 from a blood clot to his heart. I have a brother who is now 54, will be 54 this year, who 5 years ago died, had a massive heart attack, and had to be resuscitated 4 times. So the fact that he's able to ambulate, talk, eat his own food, live independently is nothing less short than a miracle. So my why is big. My sister and I both have hereditary high cholesterol. So the number 200 is not something we're able to hit naturally, but we're working towards that. And we're doing exercise, we're taking Juice Plus, we're doing all the right things. So again, I've got a pretty big why. So my husband and I've been married for almost 34 years. And he had always had high blood pressure. And even on medication, his blood pressure was still high. So when Karen introduced us to Juice Plus several years ago, we were taking expensive vitamins, not really seeing a response to those in the way that we wanted to. So we started taking Juice Plus. My husband had a follow-up appointment about 6 weeks after taking Juice Plus, and his blood pressure on medication was usually 140/80. He had his blood pressure taken in the doctor's office after only about 4 weeks of taking Juice Plus, the quad, the fruit, the vegetable, the berry, and the omega, and his blood pressure was 119/72. So when he told me that, I called the physician directly and I said, we're going to wean him off that blood pressure medication. Tell me what to do. He didn't know. So I said, okay. So I came back to Karen. We kept taking the Juice Plus and I started doing my own research, understanding the power of food, right? Real whole food and what it could do. So today, my husband is no longer on blood pressure medication. He has gone from 215 pounds and wakes up most days around 165 to 168. He has recently earned his brown belt in karate and is working towards his black belt. And he is more active and healthier than the crew of guys that he works with that are in their 30s. My husband is 60 years old. So I have a big why. And these are things that are really important. And Karen mentioned the research, right? It is so imperative that we understand what Juice Plus can do at a cellular level in our bodies. And the simple research, after eating a high-fat meal, your body's arteries and your heart tend to constrict. We don't want that to happen. We want the blood to flow through our heart to continue pumping to all the necessary parts of our bodies that require oxygen, right? So just after 4 weeks, the study said those have been consistently taking Juice Plus, the fruit, the vegetable, and the berry after 4 weeks, after a high-fat meal, showed less constriction of their arteries. Well, guess what? My husband is living proof of that. He's now off blood pressure medications. We've changed our diet. We don't eat high-fat meals. And my blood pressure, my cholesterol, which used to be in the 300s, is now averaging at 240. For those that have elevated cholesterol, you can have a CT calcium score test, which actually is a CT of your heart, and it shows any plaque buildup in the heart. So it's a gold standard test. I've had that test done 4 times in the last 13 years. The score at the bottom where you want to be is a 0, and it goes all the way up to 999. I guess at that point, there's no hope for you, right? But you always want to have the lower score. So over the course of the last 13 years that I've had this test done 4 times, my score has always been consistently 0. So all I can say is that I'm thrilled with Juice Plus. It is not something that my family will ever do or give up. What I learned is that if my why is big enough, I will find a way. And so Juice Plus was the initial start of our journey, and it's prompted us to change our lifestyle, our eating habits, to improve our exercise, to move more, and to enjoy life. And we're living our best lives.
Yep, I love that. And when you can help your friends get healthier too, it's one thing when you're getting healthy, right? You want to help your family, but Renee is a high school friend. So when you're able to reach back out and help other people, it's just so rewarding. So, I want to talk about that because there's a lot of things that we can do. There's some people going through some financial hardships right now, but you have got to put your health as a priority. If you don't, you either pay for it now for prevention or you pay for it with treatment. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather put the money towards prevention than treatment because it's a lot easier to feel good and put that money towards that than being in the hospital. I don't know what heart disease and a stent costs and going through, all of that stuff, but it's not good. And I have a neighbor who passed away from heart disease, 49 years old. It's called, and Doug, you can enter like the Widowmaker, right? Like there's no sign, there's no warning of heart disease. 50% of heart disease or heart attacks die the first time. So that's a pretty scary number where, you're going to have a heart attack and there's no like coming back from that. So the fact that Renee's brother did is amazing. So I want to talk about Juice Plus. Okay. It is different than what you might be taking now. It's in addition to the fruits and vegetables. It doesn't replace the fruits and vegetables that you're getting from the grocery store and you're eating every single day. So what we would love for you to do is eat more fruits and vegetables, try new fruits and vegetables every single day. Add in Juice Plus because we know that people are not getting the amount of fruits and vegetables that they need every single day and the variety. And then if you thought while we were doing this presentation, oh my gosh, my dad has had heart disease, or my neighbor, or my cousin, or even just anything else, they're always getting sick all the time. They don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. We would love to have you join our community and help share Juice Plus with your friends because we want to try and get as many people as healthy as possible. We'd rather save people from going through all of that treatment. So Juice Plus has been such a gift for my family. I talked about the allergies and the asthma, and I was always told it was genetic. And so, which means that my kids should be suffering from the allergies and the asthma like I did on all the prescription meds and the allergy shots, and they haven't, and they're 18 and 21. So I just really want to encourage you guys to, hopefully get started on Juice Plus. And then if you got excited about the presentation and the information, we would love to share that with you as well. All right, I'm going to stop recording and then we can go through any questions if anybody has any. Thank you everybody for coming in. Reach back out to the person. If you're watching this after the fact, reach back out to the person that invited you to watch this Zoom and then ask them for more Juice Plus information.